There is a chickadee in your yard right now, and every single time you walk outside, it announces you, not generally, not vaguely, it announces you specifically, your size, your threat level, and exactly how worried every other bird in the area should be about your presence. In a coded call that researchers at the University of Washington spent over 20 years decoding, and the score it gives you is based on things you do every single day without realizing they mean anything at all. 7 things. 7 specific, documented, peer-reviewed behaviors that the birds you love are actively responding to. Right now, in your yard this morning. Most people who watch this video will recognize at least 5 of them. Almost nobody will believe that something as simple as the color of their shirt is already in the data. Welcome to Bird Mind Theory. Stay until number 7, because number 7 is the one nobody sees coming, and it is the one that changes everything. Let's start with the one that genuinely surprises people. The color of clothing you wear in your yard changes how every bird in it responds to you. Not slightly, measurably. Research published in the journal Bird Study tested how flush distance, the distance at which a bird decides to fly away from an approaching human, changed based on clothing color. Birds allowed humans wearing soft greens and muted blues to get significantly closer than humans wearing red, orange, or bright yellow. The reason is not about bird aesthetics, it's about predator recognition. Bright, high-contrast colors, especially red and orange, register in a bird's visual system as threat signals. And bird vision extends into the ultraviolet spectrum, which means colors appear far more vivid and saturated to a bird than they do to you. What looks like a casual red sweatshirt to you looks like a high-saturation warning signal to every bird in your yard. Every time you walk outside in a bright color to refill your feeder, you are erasing weeks of trust building in a single trip. The fix is simple. Soft greens, muted browns, quiet blues. Colors that read to a bird's eye as foliage, not threat. This is the one most people already know about, and the one most people refuse to act on. If you have an outdoor cat, your cat is killing birds. Not occasionally, consistently. Research published in Nature Communications estimated that free-ranging domestic cats kill between 1.3 and 4 billion birds every year in the United States alone. The most commonly cited figure is 2.4 billion. 2 out of every 3 of those birds are native species. Your cat does not need to be hungry. Cats kill for instinct, for practice, for play. Even a well-fed, well-loved indoor-outdoor cat kills multiple birds per week during peak season. And your birds know. They have alarm calls specifically reserved for ground predators. They reduce feeder visits when a cat is in the area. They abandon nesting sites near yards where cats patrol regularly. The feeders you put out to help birds, when a cat has access to your yard, become the most efficient hunting location in your entire neighborhood. Predictable birds, predictable timing, predictable locations. Your feeder and your cat together are more damaging than either would be alone. Bell collars reduce kills by roughly 40%. That sounds helpful until you realize 60% still die. The only thing that works is keeping the cat inside. Indoor cats live more than twice as long, avoid disease and parasites, and stop being one of the largest causes of bird mortality in North America. Research published in the Condor estimated that between 365 million and nearly 1 billion birds die every year from building collisions in the United States. 44% of those deaths happen at residential homes, not skyscrapers, houses exactly like yours. Birds cannot see glass. What they see is the reflection of sky and trees, open space that looks perfectly safe to fly into. They strike the barrier at full speed. Many die instantly. Many fly away concussed and die hours later in dense cover, which is exactly why you never find them. There are statistically 2 windows in your house that are killing birds right now. You probably already know which ones they are. The large picture window near your feeder, the sliding glass door to the patio, the kitchen bay window facing the garden. The fix is inexpensive and permanent. External window decals placed no more than 2 inches apart vertically and 4 inches apart horizontally. Tempera paint patterns, hanging strings in front of the glass, external screens or window films. The key word is external. Internal decals don't work because the reflection happens on the outside surface of the glass. American Bird Conservancy publishes independent testing data on which products actually work. You can find their reviews in 20 minutes. If not a single window in your house has been treated, your yard is contributing measurable mortality to the bird population every single year. silently, invisibly, and completely preventably. If you trim your hedges, prune your trees, or clear brush between April and August in North America, there is a meaningful chance you are destroying active nests, and you will never know it happened. Birds build nests specifically to be invisible. A Carolina wren nest tucked inside a dense shrub, a robin nest on a porch ledge, a mourning dove nest balanced on a downspout. None of these are obvious until you are already too close. The parent birds see you coming with the trimmer. They call alarm. Sometimes they abandon. Eggs cool. Chicks starve. You walk away thinking you just trimmed a shrub. The fix is straightforward. Do all major pruning between late September and early March, outside the nesting window. If you must work in spring, part the branches of every shrub by hand and look before you cut. A Carolina wren has nested inside a coiled garden hose left on a porch shelf, inside a hanging boot by a back door, inside a barbecue cover. If a space looks cavity-like and sheltered, check it. People feed birds with genuine care and real intention. They also feed them things that quietly harm them, and the list is longer than most people realize. Bread, white or brown, has almost no nutritional value for songbirds and fills their stomachs with empty calories that displace real food. Salted or roasted nuts cause sodium toxicity. Honey grows fungal contamination and can spread a respiratory disease called aspergillosis. Avocado, chocolate, onion, and garlic are all toxic to multiple bird species. Cheap seed mixes are dominated by milo, red millet, and cracked corn, seeds that most North American songbirds will not eat. Birds scatter the entire feeder, searching for the few sunflower seeds buried underneath, waste most of the bag, and you end up primarily attracting house sparrows and European starlings instead of the native species you were trying to help. And dirty feeders are worse than any of this. The 2021 pine siskin salmonella outbreak that killed thousands of birds across the western United States spread directly through contaminated feeders during a winter eruption event. The fix: black oil sunflower seeds for general feeders, Niger for finches, suet for woodpeckers, mealworms for bluebirds. Clean every feeder every 2 weeks with a 10% bleach solution. Scrub, rinse, air dry completely. If you see a visibly sick bird at your feeder, take the feeder down for 2 weeks immediately. Cornell calls this social distancing for birds, and it works. Your yard is a sensory environment, and the sounds you generate in it affect birds in ways that go well beyond obvious disturbance. Research published in Current Biology found that birds living in areas with chronic background noise had measurably reduced nesting success, abandoned territories at higher rates, and had to shift their vocal frequencies just to hear each other communicate. A leaf blower running for 30 minutes drives every songbird out of a quarter-acre yard, and the birds that return are measurably more stressed than before it started. The overlooked one, the one almost nobody thinks about, is wind chimes. The metallic frequencies produced by medium and large wind chimes overlap directly with the contact and alarm calls many songbirds use to communicate with each other. When your chimes are active, the birds in your yard cannot clearly hear each other. They reduce feeder visits. They reduce vocal activity. The chimes that feel peaceful to you are acoustic interference to them. The fix is simple. Schedule power tools for the middle of the day rather than dawn or dusk when birds are most vocally active. Move wind chimes away from the area where you feed birds, or remove them entirely. 30 seconds of adjustment. Months of measurably better bird activity. And now the one that changes everything. The way you move in your own yard is being assessed constantly in real time by every bird watching you. A direct line approach toward a feeder or a bird triggers flush behavior. Not because the bird is skittish, because a direct approach toward a target is exactly what a predator does before it attacks. Birds have encoded this association across millions of years of evolution, and they are not making exceptions for the person who just filled the feeder yesterday. Direct eye contact accelerates the response. A locked gaze from a large animal is predatory targeting behavior. Every hawk, every fox, every cat stares before it strikes. The moment you look directly at a bird for more than a second or two, you have just communicated something in the bird's language that you did not intend to say. Lifting a camera or binoculars to your face suddenly makes it work. The movement of a hand rising toward the face, fast, forward-oriented, mimics the strike posture of a raptor. The bird is gone before you focus the lens. The fix takes practice, but it works. Approach feeders at oblique angles, never straight on. Move at a steady, slow pace. Not stop and start, because stop and start is how a stalking predator moves. Look slightly past a bird rather than directly at it. Raise cameras slowly and from low. Over weeks and months, birds in your yard can be trained to tolerate you within a few feet, but only if every approach you make looks like something that is not hunting them. 7 things: the color of your shirt, the cat with outdoor access, the unmarked windows, the trimmer you ran in May, the cheap seed mix and the feeder you haven't cleaned in a month, the leaf blower at 6 in the morning, and the wind chimes over the feeding station. The way you walk straight toward a bird and stare at it while you approach. None of these feel like damage. All of them register as damage in measurable, documented, peer-reviewed ways to every bird in your yard. The chickadee in your tree is still calling right now. It is still encoding your presence into a signal that every nuthatch, every cardinal, every sparrow within earshot receives and updates their files with. The score it gives you is based entirely on what you do, not what you intend. But here is the thing about that score. It can change. The few people who actually act on what they've learned in videos like this, who swap the red sweatshirt, mark the windows, bring the cat inside, slow down near the feeder, those people notice within weeks that birds get closer, stay longer, sing more openly, treat them less like a threat and more like a fixed, safe feature of the landscape. That shift from threat to trusted presence is one of the most quietly remarkable things a person can earn from the natural world. It costs nothing. It requires only that you pay attention. The birds have been paying attention to you all along. If this changed something for you, subscribe right now because this is what this channel does every single week. Tell me in the comments, which of these 7 were you doing without knowing it? And which one are you fixing first? I read every single comment. Share this with someone who has a feeder and a cat because this is the conversation they need to have today.